问小红那个停在这边，那修过这一都没有。
Hello there. It's a bit later in the day. It's fucking bug. It's a day later. Yesterday I stayed in. I got the video uploaded and just enjoyed the day of chilling out. To be honest, it's quite nice. I've been catching up on quite a lot of sleep here. It's on those nice. It's two types of hostels I find. There's the ones where everyone's up and loud, and there's the ones where you have the few guys who are staying there long term and sleeping quite late. And they're really nice ones because they're always really quiet and you can sleep in. So I had like an 11-hour sleep last night, which was just beautiful. I think when you get in a routine of getting short sleeps, I find it's actually harder to start sleeping in again. I don't know why. You start getting this weird mentality like, oh, I've got to go and do something. Today I'm just going around that garden area. I'm not too sure if I want to go in the garden area. From what I've seen, it's pretty, but you have to pay to get in, 40 yuan. And it's only a park, and I don't know, I've just had enough of paying for things in China. But today I'm going to talk about a topic, and that is basically a summary of what I found travelling through Japan, China and South Korea. Anyway, before I go in the supermarket, I'll quickly give a quick summary on the Chinese, Japanese and Korean cultures. And the Japanese are the very forgiving sort. They will pretty much, you know, if they forget to give you change, or if you leave a penny there, they'll come running down the road sort of people to give you your change. You know, that's a country I heard where you don't want to tip because that can happen and it can be quite embarrassing. South Korea is more of a in-between. You know, they're a bit more rude, a bit more pushy, but still fairly polite. I found them the most helpful out of the three. And there's China, which, you know, if you look like you're weak, they'll push you over and beat you to a pulp and take you for what you're worth. So that is what help you'll get in China. Usually you'll have to ask. If you need help in China, you have to ask. All three of them very rarely, expect all three of them not to speak English, and won't be so annoyed. Right, I just arrived back in Central District. I'm walking towards the river, got to turn right, and it's about a 20-minute walk to where I'm going. But when it comes to expenses, and this is the one which is the most asked, I could imagine. It's the one I asked the most. Expenses vary greatly between the three. You know, Japan is, I think the closest comparison to what Japan costs is what Northern America costs. You know, for example, I'm going to say it in dollars because the conversion's pretty close and a lot more people know what dollars are than pounds. You know, for example, one orange, the cheapest I could find one orange for is $1. That's for one orange. A kiwi, the cheapest I could find was $1. You know, watermelons were about $14. A jug of milk was about $3–4. Cheese was, I don't even know, it was ridiculous. And accommodation, you're looking at maybe about $20, $15 a night for a basic dorm room. A bus from Tokyo to Kyoto will set you back about $70. And it's hard to do this on a budget. You know, you can go to a restaurant and the most basic meal you can get maybe is a bowl of ramen noodles. There are a couple of the really, really cheap branches, but I wouldn't want to eat that food non-stop. You can get food for those about $4, but that's rare and it's not very nice. A bowl of noodles to some general food is usually about $8. So, you know, it's not cheap. It's really not cheap, it's not convenient. Alright, let's go on to Korea, which I'd say is the middle point of both. Korea, I'd say, is almost about half the price of Japan for most things. I mean, food almost is about the same price, but accommodation, general things like that, about half the price. For example, a basic dorm room in most places was about $10 to $12 a night, maybe $15 if you're getting a bit of a better one. Food was about $6 for a decent meal compared to the $8 in Japan. I'm going to say Busan to Seoul will probably cost you about $35 to $40 for a bus. And getting around Japan and Korea, the best way is a bus. It's the cheapest way. People do rate the high-speed train, but that'll set you back easily about $250 for a 2-week pass. It's free to enter temples. It's free to get into a lot of museums. There's only a few things that cost, usually the main attractions. And Korea, to be fair, I think charged more often than Japan, but it was still very rare. But let's all go to the big red giant, China. And China is different, you know. China is a lot cheaper, but at the same time, China is also a lot more difficult in some ways. China, the biggest advice I can say, the biggest, most expensive thing is the transport. And it's not because China's expensive for its transport. It's because here the trains travel so far. You know, you think an average train journey here, I'd say, is easily 16 to 17 hours. That's the average time you spend on a slow speed train. You can get the high speeds and they're not too expensive, but when it comes to accommodation here, the average money I've spent is about £6 a night or $6 to $7 a night. You know, meals you can easily get for a couple of dollars. You can easily get a bus and stuff for a couple of dollars, $1. It's really not expensive. Also getting a visa in China. You can get one in Hong Kong, it's the cheapest way. Arrive in Hong Kong, sort it out. I know the worries can go through your head and you can think like, oh shit, you know, I'm leaving it last minute. But at the same time, it's actually about $60, $70 compared to what I paid in England, which was about $200 almost. So I didn't know that, but at the same time, I wasn't going Hong Kong first. Place caught on fire today. Fucking hell. Walk past, you think it's just someone repaving the roads, all this black stuff on the road. Nice. Parts of the building. It's been a nice walk around today. I just went to the business district, Times Square. We're going on from the advice of travelling, you know, through the Asian countries. The best thing I could say is just come here and, you know, just come here and experience it. There are differences and there are things you won't like, there are things you will like. You know, some people really didn't enjoy going from China. They thought people were too rude. When really, I think if you know, it's just a cultural thing where, yeah, they do come across as rude. I don't ever believe it's an intentional thing. It's just the way you're brought up. It's the same as when you bring a kid up to not have any manners. He's not actually intentionally being a dickhead. It's just the way, it's what he knows. But anyway, I'm walking back to the metro now. I'm going to find a metro station. I know there's one back there, but it's a connecting one. I might just go back to that. I'll see how far away my line is. I think it's like one road away, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I hope you have got an idea from this video at least. You know, I hope it's been good enough in the sense, like, you know, really, like, out of anything, everything has its differences. There are, you know, things you will find which you do like, the things you'll find which you won't like, and you know, it's not deal breakers usually. But on the whole, really, just come here, as long as you budget the right amount, you know, obviously have your health insurance and silly things like that.